Alright, so we're back with episode 2 of Saladin's Legacy, I guess, going as Hissen Kaifa. And we have some troubles here. We're pouring up everything except for Hissen Kaifa proper, which has grown now to 9 development from the mission Expand Hissen Kaifa. And those core constructions will finish soon, but we will potentially face as many as 11,000 noble rebels, which is a problem because we have 1,000 manpower in the bank and our army force limit is 8,000 men, so that's a little bit higher than what we can tolerate. In addition, I have messed up my loan situation a little bit. We're going to take another one so that I can repay the last estate loan. Then we can re-give indebted to the Merchants Guild. And we have that 164, it's... I don't know, we can do a couple things. We can recruit some mercenaries, but we don't regain any manpower for disbanding, so this would push us over our force limit for right now and not really gain us anything, or we could try to cut down on our interest payments, because it's not nothing, but honestly I think we have the 10-year grace period from getting Ottoman War reparations, or we should just try and push things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait a little bit, we're going to sit on this money for now, and we're going to hire mercenaries once we've cored things up, or when they're needed to take on this 11 stack of rebels, whichever comes sooner. So we just finished a war against Konlu, which no longer exists, Ramazan, Karaman, and the Ottomans. We had at our side Dulkadir and Mamluks. We betrayed Dulkadir, didn't give him any land, and then broke the alliance, so nope, I still need to break that alliance. Yeah, we're breaking that. Oh. Yeah, we broke the alliance with Dulkadir, and I'm thinking about getting an alliance with Ajam. But they're pretty weak right now, so I'm not going to do that. But if they can bring their military back up to 10 to 14,000 men, then we should go that way, because Karakonlu has eaten, what is it, Samske? Yeah, Samske that starts here, and I was hoping to maybe vassalize them and then use them to vassalize into the Georgian lands in the north. Those are all a different faith, we're not really set up for that, and I don't want even more problems with faith at the moment. So what I'm thinking is we take our claims on Karakonlu, we fabricate some claims on their vassal Bitlisi, and then we use the Mamluks and potentially Ajam to sort of sandwich them and take a whole bunch of land here. In the meantime, we can take military tech 4, which is good, and I'd like to seize more land. We're only at 15%, but we'd have revolts right now because our ulema and our merchant guild are disloyal. We can't even push this past 50% right now without granting something else. We do have one stability, which is good, so we could potentially do Clerical Advisory Council, but that pushes their influence up higher, and I really don't want to do that too much, so I think we could go for Monopoly on wool. The mercantilism isn't really a big issue at the moment. I think we'll go with Oversight by the Ulema. It's a little boring, but it'll bring us up to 50%, and the Merchant Guild will go up there as well, so as soon as we see these pop up over to 50% or more, we can go ahead and do that. We could finish the estate, well, the diet agenda right here, but we spent a ton of Diplo points lowering war exhaustion in that war with the Ottomans to stay in it without significant rebels. So we're really far behind on Diplo power and on Abin power from coring up all of these things that we didn't have claims on. So if we take a look right now, we're starting to fall behind, and if we go over to the institutions map mode, hold on, Renaissance has not spawned. It means 51. It's a little late. It'll make things a little bit uncomfortable, but it'll also give us more time to catch up on texts that require it, so that's not terribly bad. So we're currying favors with the Mamluks. We will start improving with Ajam here shortly, and just other nations that would potentially ally us. Right now would be Shamar, Aniza, Bakuria, and Gazikimuk, and none of those are useful. We look at ones that are close: Biafos, not useful; Zawasir, not useful; Najd, Ramazan, not useful. We could potentially go for Karaman. So usually by this point in time, the Ottomans will have beaten up the Byzantines, and they'll get their mission claims on Karaman, Ramazan, and potentially even Dulkadir and Kandar. So getting in an alliance with Karaman is a little bit of a risky prospect. And they really, I mean, they don't, 6,000 men is a lot right now, but we'll very quickly scale past that, and they won't really get us anything. They'll just present basically a liability against the Ottomans. So we'll need to sit and watch what the Ottomans do, but let's just go ahead and sit on our thumbs here a little bit. We have to get this overextension down before we can do anything else. We really should think about teching up to the next admin tech sooner rather than later, so that kind of stuff. And we will make states even out of things that aren't great right now, because if we look at our governing capacity, it's tiny. The next war that I want to do with Karakanlu will get us 2 more provinces in our home state, which don't contribute to your governing capacity. So we'll get basically 14 development for free off of that, which will be very nice. Oh, those rebels are coming up pretty quick. As soon as they get to 80%, we'll hire some mercenaries. I would like to state up everything else first, but I don't think we'll be able to. So let's go ahead and get Al Jazeera. Our ruler is not phenomenal. We'll have to hope for a better heir once this guy dies. We will concentrate into admin points now that we've gotten Miltech 4. Okay, so we need to hire those mercenaries right now. So the Free Company is recovering their manpower. Or no, already hired? Really? Okay, we have 3,000 men, 2,000 manpower. We got smashed by the Ottomans. Okay, who looks best here? We can't afford any of them, but that's sort of a given. These guys, 5331, but 2.74 army maintenance. What's that from? Mesopotamian looks. Okay, so they have their own unique increase to their cost, which is not very good for us. But I think we will take the Nubian Company. The 2522. Oh, we can't hire them. I don't know why they're displayed if we can't hire them, but they are. Okay, so there's no difference between these two, really. We'll take the one with a slightly better general, even though it probably won't matter all that much. And we'll go ahead and hire them in Urfa. Cost us a pretty penny, and we won't be able to afford the maintenance, but it's better than losing our country to rebels. So, 11,000. We now have 11,000, but our troops have, again, that 10% shock damage reduction, 10% shock damage dealt increase. Karakanlu against our double. Okay, I don't really care about that too much. But we can go ahead and make a claim here on Bitlisi, so we'll do that. And I think we'll... Oh. Okay, so they're on a mountain. It's not exactly great for us. What I might do, since we don't outnumber them, and they have a decent general, is we'll wait, we'll let them take Erzurum. It'll slow us down coring a little bit, but not too much. And we'll basically wait for them to attack us on a mountain, so that they're taking that penalty, not us. There's no penalty for noble rebels just taking one province, and they should have to move. So this will work eventually, but again, a little bit more overextension, it won't be the end of the world. Come on. Move already. I know you want to. We know they want to, they know they want to, but they're not doing it. Oh, man. We can't afford the admin points for the stability right now, so we will take that hit. 10% tax modifier isn't ridiculous, and I'm thinking I might just go in here. Oh. We might beat them. 28, first, 25th. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, well. We'll have to hope that our men can battle it out. Not a good start for us. A little bit asynchronous there. Should have grouped all those units together. But I think we will win, unless we start getting some really bad rolls. Morale's holding out. Good. Of course, this is burning through our manpower pool again. but we've got it, and we can take land as soon as we don't have any rebel-occupied provinces. We don't want more inflation at the moment, and we will grant the control over control over monetary policy because we have 10.41 inflation, and that's not acceptable. Okay, take my 648 soldiers for all they're worth. Good. Kick a horse when it's down. Kicking a person when it's down. Kicking a person when they're on a horse, I'm confused. But that's alright. So we're up to 20% crown land. Penalties are a little bit less steep now, which is good. It would be nice if we had our own army and we could turn off the army maintenance, but we can't. So we're actually paying even more than we're getting from Ottoman war reparations, which is a little impressive. We'll need to go in against Karakanlu sooner rather than later. And while they're at war, might be a good time, but... okay. The Mamluks fought a little war in the Arabian Peninsula, and it seems to have drained, yeah, that's drained their manpower pool pretty severely. So we'll just keep currying favors with them. More favors with the Mamluks is never a bad thing for us at this point in time. And unfortunately, we kind of just have to keep going here. I think we will drill... It won't get us very much, but even a little bit of professionalism is better than nothing, and right now we have nothing. Plus those troops will perform a little bit better once they've been drilled. Okay, so the Ottomans are going in after Trebizond, which is okay with me, because it means they're not getting their mission claims on the Muslim Beyliks. So that's okay. Let's take a look at Ajam. Yeah, they're up to a reasonable number. We're going to cut the curry favors here for a second so we can go do the same thing with Ajam. And I think Ajam will want money from will want land? No. They won't. Okay, that's unfortunate. So we're going to have to curry favors with Ajam as well. But the extra 12,000 men, I mean, the three of us versus Karakanlu should go pretty well. It's going to take us a couple years to do that. But other than trying to avoid bankruptcy, I'm not really sure what else we should do with that time. We could go ahead and pop those rebels now. It's not the best idea, really. We'll take the royal marriage. If anything, it gives us a little bit more of assurances that they won't break their alliance with us while we still need them. And we have no goals on their land right now. So, we have a 5-year truce with Dulkadir. They're allied only with Kandar, and if the Ottomans aren't getting their mission claims, that might be a good thing to do. And the Mamluks don't care about that land. They sometimes do. If they get some of their missions, they start to get claims on things like Ishil, Cyprus. I'm not sure if they get parts of Dulkadir, but if we lose the Mamluks as an ally before we're ready to stand on our own 2 feet, we'll be in a pretty bad spot. So we accepted with the Ottomans because we're totally their friends, and definitely want to be their friends. Wink wink, nudge nudge, and all that. And as soon as we actually get this next claim on Bitlisi, so we can take a lot of land in that war, we'll start improving relations with the Ottomans, and, well, Mamluks then Ottomans. I don't want the Ottomans to become hostile against us. That'd be a pretty quick way to end the campaign and not for the better. So we've stated everything. We could, if we so chose, we could lower the autonomy here. It would be a big boost to our economy, but it's not really worth it right now because we don't have the manpower to sustain fighting those rebels over and over and over and over and over again, which decreasing the autonomy basically guarantees that for you for the next 20 years, which is not something we can really do. So we will start taking more loans pretty soon here. The idea at this point in the game, though, so if we go ahead and bring up our loans, here we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can have about 50 before we are toast. 66, but okay. When it says you can have up to 66 loans here, this is a little bit misleading. Your loan cap is governed by a couple of things. Stability, overextension, etc. So, as you guys saw, before we ended that war, we weren't threatening bankruptcy, but as soon as we ended it and our overextension shot up really high, then we were, because our overextension went up, the maximum number of loans went down. So when it tells you you can have up to 66, up to 68 loans at any given time, it's really lying, because your loan cap is your functional loan cap after the war that you're trying to finish. And that's always going to be a little bit less than this number. Getting a little bit of attrition because of the Ottomans. It's a bit rude after I gave you access through my territory. But that's quickly gone, and this war won't last very long. I'm happy to see it, though, because the longer they're at war, I mean, they're using mercenary companies, but that means they're paying for mercenary companies' maintenance and all of that, which is good for us. Let's see, keep an eye on Renaissance. We're actually already getting it in Erzurum. How are we getting that in Erzurum? Oh, right, I forgot about that. Technically speaking, Erzurum is in Europe, not Asia, so we're present on 2 continents. Even though we're this one blob in the Anatolian Peninsula and into the Middle East. I guess more the Middle East than the Anatolian Peninsula at this point. So we're not getting much army drill. The amount of professionalism you gain is based off of how much of your army cap is drilling at any one point in time. So we're drilling 3 out of 9, which is a third the maximum rate there. Let's go ahead and go up to 4, because we're just twiddling our thumbs. We have about another 5-ish years of Ottoman subsidies, and as soon as that goes away, we're going to be tanking 4 ducats a month. So we need to be ready for this war with Karakanlu before then. If not, having launched it already and be near to completing it. That way our future loans will make up for the fact that we'll have to take a ton of loans at this size. And if we look, the Mamluk army is recovering, but their manpower is not, which means they'd be a little bit weak in that war. And right now, I mean, that's pretty even. Bitlisi, Mushasha, and Mazarandan against the 2 of us, and I don't like fighting. I really don't. Not at this stage in the game. If I can get people to fight for me, I'm a very happy man. So our Lemma loyalty is pretty low. That'll come up pretty soon. The penalties are steep. National unrest might actually get these guys to pop a little bit sooner than they would otherwise. This is not an ideal situation, to say the least. So, let's see what we can do. No. We could, so we can always sell titles if we really need to. The autonomy penalty will come back, but it'll be pretty small. Not really an issue too, because again, 3 of our 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 provinces are in our home state, so they will get nothing, no additional autonomy. But we're not that desperate until we're really threatening bankruptcy, and the larger we push our development base, the more we'll get for clicking that button, which is quite nice. Additionally, well, I'd kind of want to take in the Ulemma the privilege that increases your piety over time, because 1, legalism is amazing, minus 10%, technology cost is amazing, tax modifier, manpower modifier, also amazing, but enforced faithful adherence lowers your corruption by 2, and it might not seem all that important, really, because most people don't have that high corruption very often. Excuse me. But it really can be, because that button basically says you can click on debased currency once for free, right? So you can get a free loan with no interest. Your corruption will shoot up to 2. You come over here at religion, click on enforce faithful adherence, drop back down to 0, and you're back in the clear. So really not too bad. And we have our claims now on Bitlisi, so let's go ahead and make sure that the Mamluks remain our friends. And if we look at our aggressive expansion, because we did get a fair bit, we might have to keep an eye on the Ottomans' read on our aggressive expansion. This is what I really want the next war to all be for territories we have claims on, as opposed to ones that we didn't. We only had a claim on Mardin. We took the rest of this without a claim, and that really, that adds up. One thing that we can kind of count on. Oh, apologies. Oh, that looks like it's going fine. So, aggressive expansion modifiers are impacted by a number of things, including whether or not you share a religion in common. So, if we look at the Ottomans are Sunni, Mamluks are Sunni, Akhanlu was Sunni, Dulkadir, Karaman, Ramazan, etc. But Karakanlu, I believe, is Shia? Could be wrong about that. Yeah, they're Shia. So they get, I believe, a minus 50% aggressive expansion modifier for non-Shia nations. So we can take a lot more land from them. The Ottomans won't care because the Ottomans consider them basically religious enemies, which is pretty sweet for us. That's a good thing. We're up to 6 favors, getting plus 0.2 a month. So that will only be about 2 years or so before we're ready for the war with Karakanlu. It's really not bad. A little bit less than 2 years, which is good because our treasury won't hold up for all that much longer. And we're looking at picking up an additional, so that's 16, 22, 30, 35 to 40 development here. Even more if we can swing it, right? Because taking Altu, taking cars, that would all be good for us. We can connect up to Georgia. Taking Georgia would be good. I don't know. Okay, so the Ottomans declared war on Trebizond, but then ate Imereti. Okay. You do you, I guess. There's no continuous land border there either, so they're going to have to shuttle troops in if they have problems with unrest, which I can virtually guarantee they will because all of that land is Orthodox. Yeah, okay, that was a choice. They have gone in on Byzantium, only defended by Wallachia. Looks like Venice isn't coming in on that. And that's not exactly good for us. So when this war's over, when they take Constantinople, and probably part of Greece as well, we get the money, you'll see, well, I'll show you their mission claims. Although my guess is if you've played EU4, you've probably played as the Ottomans at least once, so you know what that looks like, but still. So our truce with them is up. Does that end our war reparations? I don't think so. Yeah, no, we still have that for 10 years. Good. So our first reform here, we're going to go with strengthen noble privileges because I want more manpower. We want to transition off of mercenaries, but we can't do it quite yet. We are getting up to 8 favors now with Ajam, 9 favors. So what we're going to do, we're going to... well, okay, they're not drilling anymore. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and get this done right. So we allow attach there. We've attached here. We'll attach there. And then we're going to go in for siege on Bitlisi, I think. It is mountain terrain, so we could get, well, yeah. We're gonna let our allies do some of the fighting in the time-honored tradition of letting the people we don't care about go first. Should work out well, I think. This war could be pretty long too, because when you're relying on the AI to win it for you, I mean, if you fought against the AI, you know, they're not always the most efficient when it comes to things like this. But we're still too small, too weak to really do this on our own. My hope is, if we can get up to around 20,000 men, and we can start moving sort of northeast toward Georgia, do a second war against Karakanlu, get us to the Caspian Sea, we can start sort of moving independently of some of the powers that are helping us right now. So we're going to try and cut northeast. There's not a lot of good money there. If we take a look at the trade, I mean, it's the Persia trade node, but it's nowhere near most of the actual trade nodes in... trade nodes in the Persian trade node? Okay. Sensors of trade in the Persian trade node. There are some pretty decent trade goods here. There's a lot of silk. Dyes are not terrible, but not a lot of high good production province modifiers. And really, if we're eating northeast, we won't be getting that much good development here. So we're going to stay poor for a while. Ideally, you know, in a case like this, you'd go for economic ideas to boost your income, help you with loans, help you with your army maintenance, things like that. But we're going to be expanding too rapidly for that. We're not going to have the admin points that we need to pull that off. So we're not going to do the standard move with economic. We're not even going to do the standard move with quantity because we won't be able to afford the larger army. We're going to probably go either offensive or quality, but I'm leaning toward offensive. The siege ability plus 20% is amazing. The additional general pips are amazing, and the discipline plus 5 is amazing on top of our 10% shock damage increase. So we have our 10 favors now with Ajam. Let's see what would happen. Yeah, so we can call them both in. Mushasha won't come in, which is very nice. So we're going to make the... we're going to declare technically on Bitlisi. Karakanlu is co-belligerated, so we can take their provinces too. Okay, no, we're not. So if we did that, the Mamluks wouldn't join, so we're going to have to go in against Karakanlu. I wanted to go against Bitlisi so that we could assign something like Bayezid as the war goal. We could take it, it's a mountain province, there's no fort. They'd have to attack us on the mountains to take back the war goal. But we will have to make that, I think, we'll make it Sinjar. Drylands away from forts should be easy to take. So, okay, so if you call Ajam right away, Mushasha will come in, but watch this. We're going to not call Ajam, we're going to declare the war. Then, if you check now, Mushasha is no longer allied because they've already dishonored the call. So now we'll call Ajam in, and Mushasha won't join because, well, they're no longer relevant. Their alliance is already broken. So we have the same... Oh, good. We have the same alliance chain as if we called them all in at once, but we're fighting fewer people, which is great. So we're going to go ahead and move up to... Oh, that's cars, that's not really valuable. We're going to sit here for a second. We're going to let our allies sort of... Well, actually... No, let's go ahead and assign objectives. We'll give these two to Ajam. I don't really care if they get split up and start dying. That's kind of what they're there for. And we'll go for Mosul, Sinjar, and Rabba with the Mamluks just to try and keep them in that area. I want them close enough to me that Karakanlu doesn't feel like attacking. Now that Bitlisi is moving their troops out, we'll go ahead and move in. The Mamluks are coming up this way shortly, so that should be fine. And, oh, do we have... Let's look at our military leaders. I think he's all we've got, but he is 2 siege, which is why... Oh, yeah, this is what I was afraid of. Okay, so hopefully the Mamluks will get there in time to help us. Because of the mountain, it'll be close. We outnumber them a little bit. What are you doing? You're right there, help me. Or don't. Okay, we're screwed. So we'll retreat to Diyarbakir, and I mean, those guys are gonna get attacked too, so I don't know what they're doing. It's you know, I bet if I hadn't assigned that, they probably would have helped me out. It's kind of ironic. Let's go ahead and do that again. So we're gonna replace the resident scholar. I don't know, now it is tempting to do either aggressive expansion impact -10 or the admin tech cost. I think we're going to go for the aggressive expansion because that'll really make sure that I don't have much to worry about for Karakanlu. So if we look here, the achievement that we want, Saladin's Legacy, says play as Hissan Kaifa and reforge the Ayyubid Empire, so I don't think we can form anything. We might be able to. Frankly, after that first fight against the Ottomans, I don't feel like testing it. Because if we go through all that and we don't get the achievement, I just feel like an idiot. But long-term goals. Long-term goals, we could try and reform the Timurids, so we'd conquer everything in here, and then reform Timurids, or we could form Persia. Yeah, we're going northeast anyway. We will eventually betray Ajam. That's a viable option. Persia's not bad. The Mughals would be the best, but we're not going that far east. I'd rather start something else at that point. There's plenty of nice nations to play in India too. That could be pretty fun. So we'll recall here. Okay, now we may as well improve with the Ottomans. I want them to be our friends. Excellent, click the wrong button. Ajam is taking a beating, but that's okay. That's what they're there for. If they peace out, we'll have a bit of a tough military fight on our hands, because I think we're up against, what, 24,000 troops, roughly. Yeah, right now we outnumber them like crazy, but the Mamluks can't get over there to help because of forts. I won't get over there to help even if I could. And they might take... Is that their capital? No, it's not. Okay, so if they just take there, that's fine. They'll also have to take the fort at Culm. That's only a level 1 fort. This is level 2. So that fort at Culm will fall relatively quickly. They're taking stuff for their own occupation. That's fine. We're not really going to worry about taking down there anyway. I don't know. Let's see how much we even could take. So if I take these 3, which I want, and then I take these 3, which I have claims on, Karakonlu would join, but nobody else would. Okay. If I can take more in the northeast. Oh, I'll win the siege there. Okay, the Ottomans would join. How much can I get without the Ottomans joining right now? So I could take Oltu as well. That would not be a horrible peace deal. And over the next couple of years, we will see our aggressive expansion go down with the Ottomans, 2.2 a year. So the longer this war drags out, which admittedly I don't really want it to, I want some money from it, and I want it to be relatively quick. The longer that drags out, the more we could potentially take from Karakonlu without having trouble with the Ottomans joining in a coalition. I thought I did invite a scholar. Did I not? Interesting. Let's see. Earl Haj. I don't know. Maybe that didn't work. Well, we'll see when we look at the coring. Oh, sorry. Well, oh, that's the way to tell. So we go into all modifiers, aggressive expansion impacts. Huh. I guess it didn't work. Oh, well, we might have found a bug. That's fun. Lose professionalism. Okay, well, we don't have any. Or lose 10 loyalty from the emirs, but gain 2.5. We're going to gain 2.5. Professionalism is like gold, in my opinion. It increases our mercenary cost, which is bad, but we get siege ability, we get land fire damage, shock damage, regiment drill loss. Having this at 100 is a big boost to your armies. Somebody with 100 professionalism versus somebody with 50, equal forces, 100 wins. Let alone the other bonuses you get from being a nation that's pushing up that much with their military. You're going to have better generals, etc., etc. Well, I guess, now that I say that, maybe not, right? So if you have high drilling, if you're playing tall, you're relatively small, you're drilling a lot of troops, a lot, you can afford it because you have a good economy, you get bonuses for that instead of bonuses from high army tradition, right? Because you're not doing a lot of fighting, you're doing a lot of drilling. So it kind of offsets the advantage that nations that don't go to war often lose to nations that go to war very often. So I just want to double check something here. If we look at the Mamluks, yeah, so they consider Sinjar and Rabah provinces of vital interest, which means we can't take either of them. They've given this to our control, but I'm going to give it back because I'm not taking it. Which I guess, yeah. So that gives us more space. Unfortunately, we did have a claim there. It's from the mission that we completed, Prepare for War. We're not going to be completing Al Jazeera for a very long time, even though it does give us claims on Aleppo. Aleppo, as you may notice, is held by the Mamluks. So as long as we're using the Mamluks, we can't do that. They're occupying a lot of land. I kind of want Karakonlu to lose out on this war, because I don't want to give them the stuff that they're claiming. I kind of wanted Arbil. Do I have a claim? No, I don't. I should have marked provinces of interest. That's a mistake on my part. Maybe we can still do that now? A couple things. Already claimed, already claimed, already claimed. Okay, well we can at least mark some things. It's not great. If I had been sooner, if I'd been quicker to do that, we could have potentially prevented them from taking some of this stuff for themselves. We do have all of Bitlisi, which is very nice. We're at 45% on the war, and it does look like the Mamluks and Jam are crushing their armies. Well, Okay, we can live with this. You know, we could take fewer things and then basically be ready for a second war with them relatively quickly. Let's take a look. So we take that. We'll get a truce until 68, which isn't terrible. If instead we took those two as well, be till 70, which again isn't terrible. I think we should take more land now. We have the admin points for it. We don't have Renaissance yet, so paying into that would be a bit of a waste, especially because if we look at institutions, we will get it in Hiss and Kaifa. We'll also probably get it. Cyprus will go through to the Mamluks. Mamluks will give it to us. It'll take a while. It might be a tech behind, but we'll get up to Miltech 5, and that matters more here, actually, in a couple months. We'll be able to replace our infantry, giving us an advantage over everyone who hasn't, and making us keep pace with the Ottomans, which is very important, because you never want the Ottomans to think you're weaker than they are, even if they like you. And right now, they're neutral, which is better than mad, I guess. I don't know why they're not fighting me here. They probably win that. But who am I to argue? As soon as we take this fort, we're going to peace out for a decent chunk of land. Let's take a look at the states around here. Ooh. It's like, I guess we should... once the war's done, I'll see what else is going on in the war. In the world, rather. So that's Samska. If we take all 2, that's worth it. This will be... we get 2 out of 5 there. Yeah, so we can work our way into this state as well. That's really not the worst idea. They won't give me that. They hold Tabriz. How much more could I take without a coalition? This is costing me Diplo, which is a little short-sighted. But we could take as far as Melikets. It's a lot of aggressive expansion, but that would give us an entire state here. Be very nice. Not to mention it's a bigger chunk right off the bat, so we get stronger quicker. I think we will do that. But to do that, we'll basically have to pound them into the ground, which will again take more time. Then this truce goes until 74, but it'll take us 2 years to get that much, maybe. So it's really until, well, okay, you know what? I don't care for it that much. It will lengthen our truce time with them. I do want Yerevan, that way I can fabricate claims on these 4 provinces for the next war. So let's keep going until we can take Yerevan. Do I even want Mosul? It's part of Al Jazeera. I've stated this, so it is useful. Silk, not cloth. Kinda do want Mosul. Not to mention it's great for fabricating claims too. You can only fabricate claims on things you're adjacent to. So provinces that stick out into enemies that you haven't yet conquered are very nice. We will switch. This is a little bit risky doing this in the middle of a war, but they are significantly better. Yep, they're coming over because we're weak. Let's retreat. Yeah, they were probably coming to get us. Ralph Phillips and all that. Okay, so Tabriz is what needs to fall. Let's go ahead and move down there. We do still have our heir as that general. He's quite nice. Oof, missionary strength, or ducats. We're not converting anything now anyway, and if we look at that... yeah, we're not going to be converting things quickly for a while. So, that's okay. We'll balance out the displeasure there. Though our ulema are getting a little bit high influence. We'll have to watch for that. Let's go up to 4. Really, I mean, most of their resistance is done at this point. They might take us in an opportunistic fight, but nothing better than that. I think, yep, our war reps from the Ottomans have ended. I did a while ago, I might just not have noticed that. So we need this war over now. We need to start getting war reps from... yeah, can you stop giving me bad events? Okay, actually this is good. So, lose 2 corruption by event. This means we're going to come in here to our economy, we're going to debase currency, and then we're going to click that, immediately lose the corruption. And we got a little bit of cash, right? Not a lot, won't last very long. And we do have to get out of this war, so we can take this, we can get war reparations, which are crucial. And then, how much of the money would we actually get? Not a lot. I'd prefer a shorter truce, although, frankly, even... But, yeah. You know what? Give me all of your money, please. It extends the truce, but we get good land. We connect with Georgia, so we'll conquer Georgia next. That should be fine, and I'd rather have that and have a sort of delay on our many economic woes here. So let's core that up. It's actually a well-situated fort on a mountain. It's quite nice for a northern border there. And if we look at Georgia, they have no allies at all. So we're going to go ahead and start fabricating claims sooner rather than later. Probably should have done that previously, but I didn't. I kind of expected them to be allied with Circassia, which would make it into an annoying fight. Besides, we're not going to be able to conquer them until we've dealt with our own rebel issues, which will take a little while. So if we look now at our loans, 54. So, okay, what do we want to do? We're going to extend that so that we can repay our estate loans. One more. Estates. Good. And we've repaid our estate loans, which means we can cycle into the Merchant Guild. Now we have those low interest loans with 54 ducats instead of 31. We have a fair amount in the bank, but no churches that are, well, mosques that are really worth building. So let's go back into repay. Let's buy down some of our bad loans there. How many loans do we have now? So we still have one at 3% interest, but the amount's 54, so we're good. This is okay. We'll start losing money again next month, but this is okay. Yeah. Oh, curry favors. Dagnabbit. Click the wrong button. Well, now we have to wait a month. But I said I'd show you guys. Well, actually, I'll probably end that there after another war. Doing pretty well, though. So if you look at our overall development, we started with 6 development in 1444. We're up to, what, 107? It's not bad for 1460. It's Sis and Kaifa. Let's take a look. Hungary has eaten Bosnia and Serbia. They have Croatia as a junior partner. And Matthias Hunyadi is their heir, but they've extended the Regency Council? Yeah, they extended the Regency Council. You don't see that very often. Poland does not... Sorry, Poland does have Lithuania. And they're fighting against... Yep, so they're supporting Danzig. That's all sort of normal. England and France did not go to war, so England is still relatively strong. No consolidation in Ireland yet. Navarra. Naples is free. Yeah, Naples is free. That's a little odd. Morocco looks to be having a pretty good game so far. Tunis having a good game so far. Yeah, so the Ottomans did eat all of Byzantium, so into Greece as well. Epirus is... Poor Epirus. Their alliance with Venice is the only thing keeping them alive. And now if you look at the Ottomans, yeah, they have mission claims on Kandar and on one province in Dulkadir. As soon as they get those, they get claims on Karman and Ramazan. So if we had gone west and gone into Dulkadir here, then all of a sudden the Ottomans would want to kill us next, and well, we're not ready for that. So I guess that's the episode. We'll come back in for a little bit here shortly. See you guys around.